I want being bored not to be something that scares me. Because every time I'm bored, I'm scared because I do something I'm not supposed to do. In seventh grade, I had a social studies teacher that was pretty interesting. He did a lot of things differently than other teachers. He rode his bike to school, he never drove. He was one of the few guy teachers I had because I had mostly girl teachers or women teachers. And he listened to classical music when we were taking tests. It was a very interesting and unique teacher that I didn't really appreciate that much when I was that age, aside from just saying I liked him. And I remember he used to always say that he hated when people said they were bored. Anytime anybody in class ever said, I'm bored, he would literally stop what he was doing and said, What did you say? And he would give us this monologue. I forgot what he exactly said, but he basically said, You're not bored. You just don't have anything important to do, and I can give you something important to do. He hated when people said that, and I thought it was just kind of silly because it got some people to the point where they would be like, "Hey, we called him Coach Smith, even though he didn't coach anything." That was another weird thing about him. Coach Smith, I'm bull, and they would stop and he'd be like, and he knew what they were about to say, but it was just kind of silly. And I thought it was just his little silly thing that he did and he didn't like. But as I'm getting older, I really hate it when people say they're bored too, because I get bored. And I find that whenever I'm bored, I make not the best decisions. See, I, at many points of my life, have got very, very close to having perfect peace in a way. Right now, I am at a point where I don't have a lot going on that is necessarily bad for me in my life. And I'm doing really good. I'm being really productive. I'm making videos like this one. I'm writing online. And I'm always so close to that feeling of not I have everything figured out, but I'm on the right track. But I always mess it up whenever I get bored. Because I always have that point. I can have a week of just working and doing everything right, and then I have a day where I do everything I said I was going to do, and then I get kind of bored, and then I almost have this downward spiral of bad action because I was bored. And for instance, this past week, I have been playing a lot of video games. One of the things I told myself I wouldn't be doing a lot in 2025. And maybe it's not inherently bad just to play the video games, but I find that when I play video games, I invest a lot of my time into the game. So I've been playing this one game on my phone. It's called Zenless Zone Zero. I thought it was pretty cool. But I will spend hours just playing that game. And we get so caught up in this because we're bored and we want to, kill time. But I find that you can kill time doing things important. Just like my coach Smith said, you're not bored. You're just not doing anything important. And you need to do something important. I can give you something important to do. You can give yourself something important to do, but oftentimes we don't. When I get done doing the things that I'm supposed to be doing, I really should be honestly doing more because I get a lot of enjoyment after I make a video, after I write online, after I journal, after I prep for a video or do anything. I can always do more for the things I'm doing good at. I don't ever want to get to a point where I'm thinking I'm so good that I can just kick my feet up and absolutely waste my time because I don't want to waste my time. I can maybe do things a little easier. Like maybe I don't have to write an article, but I can just write notes to maybe help me with my next article or my next video. Things like that. I want to make better decisions when I get bored because I don't want to be bored. Getting bored now scares me because ever since I downloaded that game, I deleted it yesterday and I really don't want to download it again because I spend so much of my time playing that game. I had a lot of tests last week, and I would literally be studying for my test, and I'd pull up my phone and play my game for an hour randomly. I didn't know the material of the test, but for some reason, I would just start playing my game. Like, why did I do that? I have no idea. We just get bored, and sometimes we don't want to force ourselves to work, but sometimes we need to. It's the better thing to do. I haven't been writing like I should be because I promised myself I would post 2 articles a week on Substack, and I have not been doing that. I think last week I didn't post any, and the week before I posted one, and I really want to post one today. But if I'm playing this game all the time, or just thinking about this game, I spend way much more time on my phone or devices than I really should be. It's an unhealthy relationship for me, and it's something I really need to cut out of my life because I want being bored not to be something that scares me. Because every time I'm bored, I'm scared because I do something I'm not supposed to do. I want to get used to spending my time wisely, doing things that's going to help me and I can be proud of. Because honestly, I'm never going to be proud of sinking hours into a video game. But I can be proud of maybe spending an hour making notes for my class or studying a little extra when I don't want to study because no one likes studying and that's just something you really like. But I don't like all my classes, I only like a few of them. And that could be journaling, that could be doing anything that's just a better application of my time than just sinking it into video games. I don't want to be bored. Being bored is just the absence of doing something important. And you should do something important. Playing video games, wasting your time, it's not important. And I have to tell myself that because I I just make some of the worst decisions when I'm bored. I know when I was playing this game, I synced like $60 into this game after just a couple days of playing it. Why did I make that decision? It's because I was bored. I literally just spent money on something I'm never going to get anything back from. A lot of people like to argue and say, oh, well, you enjoy it, it makes you happy. But no, I honestly don't feel that happy after I get done playing the game. It's kind of short term gratification. It feels really good in the moment when you're doing it, but after you get done, you're like, why did I do that? There's a lot of things like that in life, and most of them are something you shouldn't be doing again and again. So I want to stop. I want to stop making those bad decisions, and it starts with cutting out the things in my life that I do when I'm bored, and maybe stop saying I'm bored. Maybe just give myself something important to do. Because if I'm doing something important to help me in the hobbies, my class, my videos, my writing, that's important. That's helping me. Playing video games, wasting my time, scrolling on my phone, that's not very important. Because I spent $60 on this game, I spent even more money doing a good thing. And maybe you disagree with this, but I'm like, well, I need to balance it out. But I'm not going to spend any money anytime soon. I spent $60 on this game, and then I spent $60 after I spent $60 on this game to buy this little brick they've been advertising on Instagram where you literally just scan it and you select certain apps and you block them. You cannot open them. And that's how I want to treat social media or any other thing. I'm done playing games for right now, but social media I have to keep because I upload videos and stuff on there. But I'm going to block those. And I'm going to get to a point where I go out and I cannot use my social media even if I want to. I'm forcing this productivity into myself because I don't want to be bored. I want to be doing something important. Because even when we feel like we have nothing to do, there's usually something we could be doing. And I want to get to the point where I'm doing everything. Every little action I do helps me in my life. I'm done doing actions that do not add to my life at all. And I think you should do the same thing. I don't know what that may be for you. Maybe you play a lot of video games and you don't want to give them up. I mean, I was the same way, but it's so hard sometimes, especially when you put money into something to just drop it. But you're like, oh, I spent money on this. I can't drop it. But you can. I promise you can because I did. Because I knew once I spent money in that game, even though it was $60, and you're like, dude, why'd you stop playing it? You gotta at least work on the game. You spent $60, but I'm like, no. I can't do that to myself. If I got to the point where I spent $60, there's no telling what money I'll spend on that game or any other game if I don't stop. I gotta stop. I gotta stop before I go up that whole staircase. Even if I'm on step 54, I gotta realize I'm on step 54 and say, I'm already halfway. I'm already halfway. I can go. No, don't go the rest of the way. Just go back. Like I'm doing now. Go back. Even today, I was laying in my bed. I went to sleep. I could have said I was bored, but I didn't. I just got a little extra sleep, did a little more in the gym. Probably going to try to read today, but I'm not playing games. And I don't want to scroll on my phone. I'm taking advantage of my time, and I'm not saying I'm bored. I'm just giving myself something important to do. And I thank my 7th grade teacher, Coach Smith, for teaching me that I'm not bored. I'm just not doing anything important. And I can give myself something important to do. And I hope you can give yourself something important to do moving forward as well. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, listening, watching, consuming it wherever you're getting it from, and I hope you have a blessed day.